So hello everybody. So in the last class we have been discussing about special theory of relativity, and in the last class we have discussed about Lorentz transformation equations and length contraction. And length contraction is an application of Lorentz transformation equation. And in this class, and we have got that when certain objects are moving with a velocity comparable to the velocity of light, then what happens is that the length is assumed to be contracted for a man who is standing from the earth and observing the motion of a rod of length L0, and rod of length L0 is called the proper length. And for a man who is standing on the surface of the earth and observing the motion of the rod, which is moving with a velocity comparable to the velocity of the light, then he feels that along the direction of motion the length of the rod is contracted, and the equation is L is equal to L0 into root of 1 minus V square by C square, and the term which adds to this contraction is the root of 1 minus V square by C square. It is very important. Many questions are asked from this portion. So next we are moving to another application of Lorentz transformation, that is time dilation. So imagine a gun placed at the position x prime, y prime, z prime in a frame of reference S prime. You all know that one, and we have been discussing about that too in the last classes at all. Suppose we are having two frames, S and S prime, and S prime is moving with a velocity v with respect to S, and the S prime frame is having the coordinate x prime, y prime, z prime, and S frame is having the coordinate x, y, and z. That's all. Suppose a gun shoots at two times. The first time is t1 prime and the second time is t2 prime, and this time is measured in the S prime frame. A person is standing and shooting, and the first shot occurs at the time t1 prime, and the shot is occurring at the same position, and the next shot occurs at the time t2 prime, and both these times are measured in the S prime frame. In S prime frame, the clock is at rest relative to the observer. Okay, and in S prime frame, he is observing the times, two times t1 prime and t2 prime, and the clock is at rest in the S prime frame. But S prime frame is moving with the velocity v with respect to S frame. So the time interval measured by the clock as relative to the observer is the proper time interval. That is the time interval observed in the frame in which the things are happening is called, we have discussed about the proper length in the last class, that is about during the length contraction, while discussing the length contraction. And here the time lapse between the two events which occurred at the same position is called the proper time interval, and hence it is given by t0 is equal to t2 prime minus t1 prime. And t0 is the time interval between the two shots for the observer in S prime frame. Since the gun is fixed in S prime and it is having a velocity v with respect to S, gun is fixed in S prime frame and the S prime frame is moving with a velocity v with respect to S frame, and the motion is occurring along the positive x direction. And you can represent the time elapsed in this manner in the S frame. That is, the time the first shot occurred at the time t1 and the second shot occurred at the time t2, and time difference between the two shots is t is equal to t2 minus t1 as observed in S frame. And we know the Lorentz transformation equation. T prime is equal to t minus Vx by c square. It is the transformation equation in S prime frame, and this is the time observed in S frame. And if you are just reversing it, what you will get? For a person who is standing in the S prime frame and observing the things that is occurring in the S frame, what he feels that the person in the S prime frame is at rest, and he feels that S frame is moving with a velocity minus v. Okay. The same thing happens here. We'll just reverse if we are reversing the condition. ഇതെന്താ സംഭവിക്കുന്നത്? നമ്മൾ എസ് പ്രൈം ഫ്രെയിം ആണ് വി വെലോസിറ്റിയിൽ സഞ്ചരിക്കുന്നത്. എസ് ഫ്രെയിം ഇസ് അറ്റ് റെസ്റ്റ്. എന്നിട്ട് എസ് ഫ്രെയിമിൽ നിന്ന് ഈ മോഷൻസ് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യാണ്. അപ്പൊ കിട്ടുന്ന എക്സ് പ്രൈം കോർഡിനേറ്റും ടി പ്രൈം കോർഡിനേറ്റും ആണ് ഇതിൽ എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇനി തിരിച്ച് നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? എസ് പ്രൈം ഫ്രെയിമിൽ നിന്ന് എസ് ഫ്രെയിമിലുള്ള തിങ്സ് ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യാണ് എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ഹാപ്പൻസ്? Here instead of x prime I have to write x, and instead of x I have to write x prime. And what happens here? Instead of v I will have to put a minus v, means what? X plus vt varum. Ivada v square endana minus v square nu parna plus v square ane, minus v into minus v becomes plus v. So ivada change denominator il change undavilla, and that's what I am telling. Instead of t prime we can write here t, and instead of t here we can write t prime. Instead of minus v plus v. So what I'll be getting is, from inverse transformation equations we have t1 is equal to t1 prime plus vx prime by c square divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. Similarly I have t2 is equal to t2 prime plus vx prime by c square divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. Hence t2 minus t1 is equal to t2 prime minus t1 prime. Both of them get cancelled, and what is left will be t2 prime minus t1 prime divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. Now what you are going to do is, you are going to make the substitution for t2 minus t1. t2 minus t1 is t, and t2 prime minus t1 prime is t0. So what you will be getting is t is equal to t0 divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. So and here what happens? The root term, root of 1 minus v square by c square is in the denominator, means if it is in the numerator means t will be less than t0, but since this term, that's what's happening in the length contraction. For length contraction what you have got is L is equal to L0 into root of 1 minus v square by c square. So L is less than L0. Here what happens? T is equal to T0 divided by root of 1 minus V square by C square. So T is greater than T0. What does it mean? The time interval between the two events. ഇപ്പം S prime frame il ninnu രണ്ട് shots നമ്മൾ എടുത്തു. Like we are shooting the gun. And the time interval for shooting the gun is observed in the S prime frame is 1 hour. 1 hour ആണ് S prime frame ൽ നിന്ന് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ രണ്ട് ഷൂട്ടിങ്ങിന്റെ ഇടയിലുള്ള ടൈം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ S frame ൽ നിന്ന് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ that time will be greater. It may be 2 hours, 3 hours, etc. So the time interval between the two events got increased when we are observing it from a frame which is at rest, and the clock is kept at a frame which is in motion v with respect to s, and the velocity v is comparable to the velocity of light upon these conditions. So what happens? Moving, I can say moving clock runs slower. For move ചെയ്യുന്ന ക്ലോക്ക് എന്താണ്? ഒരാള് ഗ്രൗണ്ടിൽ നിന്ന് നോക്കുന്ന ഒരാളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം എന്താണ്? മൂവിങ് ക്ലോക്ക് എന്ത് പറ്റി? അത് ഇപ്പം രണ്ട് ഇവന്റ്സ് തമ്മിലുള്ള സമയവ്യത്യാസം എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എർത്തിൽ നിന്ന് നോക്കുന്ന ആളെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം കൂടുതലായിരിക്കും. മൂവ് ചെയ്യുന്ന ക്ലോക്കിൽ നിന്ന് തന്നെ നമ്മൾ ഒബ്സർവ് ചെയ്യണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അത് കുറവായിരിക്കും. This is what the time dilation says. Mathematically we have got the t is greater than t0. T0 is the time observed from S prime frame which is in motion, and t is the time observed from a person who is standing in S frame which is at rest and looking the motion in the S prime frame, and the S prime frame is moving with the velocity v along the positive x direction, and this v is comparable to the velocity of light. So these are the things that we will have to keep in mind. So the time interval between two events occurring at the same point in the moving frame S prime appears to be longer to the observer in the stationary frame S. Okay, അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? We are just launching a rocket to space, and the motion of the rocket is having a velocity which is comparable to the velocity of light. And the time difference observed between the two events. അപ്പം ഈ റോക്കറ്റിൽ നിന്ന് we are shooting, we are making a shot, and the time interval between the shot is 1 hour in the rocket means, and a person is standing on the earth and observing the rocket. So the time interval between the two shots will be 2 hours or 3 hours depending upon the velocity of the rocket with respect to earth. So that is the stationary clock measures a longer time interval between two events occurring in a moving frame of reference than does the clock in the moving frame. അതായത് മൂവിംഗ് ഫ്രെയിമിൽ വെച്ച ക്ലോക്ക് 1 മണിക്കൂറാണ് കാണിക്കണമെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ഒരു സ്റ്റേഷനറി ഫ്രെയിം, അതായത് സർഫസ് ഓഫ് എർത്തിൽ നിന്ന് ആ ക്ലോക്ക് മീൻസ് ആ ടൈം നമ്മൾ ഇത് മെഷർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇറ്റ് വിൽ ബി മോർ. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ടി വിൽ ബി ഗ്രേറ്റർ ദാൻ t0, right? So, and related to that, we are having a very important or very wonderful or very like what we'll say, exciting paradox. And this paradox is called twin paradox. So, this is also one of these applications of Lorentz transformation equation. Suppose we consider two exactly identical twin brothers, and let one of the twins go out for a long space journey at a high speed in a rocket, and the other twin stay behind on earth. And the clock in the moving rocket, what happens? The clock in the moving rocket will appear to go slower than the clock on the surface of the earth. Okay, that is moving clocks run slower. So clock in the moving rocket, if the time elapsed between the two events in the moving rocket is 1 hour, I have told the time elapsed for the clock on the surface of the earth will be 2 or 3 hours. And you can connect this timing to the biological clock happening inside the human body. Biological clock, you can relate it to the biological clock. All these human activities can be related to the biological clock. അതായത് നമ്മുടെ മനുഷ്യന്റെ ശരീരത്തിലുള്ള ബയോളജിക്കൽ ക്ലോക്കിനായിട്ട് അത് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അപ്പോൾ ബയോളജിക്കൽ ക്ലോക്ക് ഇസ് റിലേറ്റഡ് ടു ദ ഏജ്, റൈറ്റ്? അപ്പം എന്ത് പറ്റി, എർത്തിൽ നിന്ന് നോക്കുമ്പോൾ 3, 4, 5 വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞാലും റോക്കറ്റിൽ സഞ്ചരിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്ക് എന്താണ് 1 വർഷം കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ടുള്ളൂ. സോ ഹി ലുക്സ് മോർ യങ്ങർ ദാൻ ദ സെയിം ട്വിൻ ബ്രദർ ഹു വാസ് standing on the earth. So in accordance, therefore, when the person who was in the spaceship returned back, what he feels? He finds himself younger than the person who stayed behind on the surface of the earth. This is what the famous twin paradox says. It is one of a beautiful paradox. And if you want to make ourselves younger, what you have to do? You have to set out a journey to space, and our velocity should be comparable to the velocity of light. When we return back, what we'll feel? We'll feel younger than our twin brother. So to make the things more clear, I'll just give you an example, that is application of time dilation. Imagine that a 40-year-old man fall in love with a 16-year-old girl. They want to marry, but they're having a huge age difference. So they had a problem. So next question is how they are going to sort out this problem. For that, what the scientists do, that they met the scientist or physicist. Then they sort out a solution for that one. Scientists plan to marry them by the principle of time dilation. With the help of the principle of time dilation, the marriage will become perfect. How does it happen? And the scientist synchronizes his clock and Man was set out for a long space journey in a spaceship with a velocity 0.99 c, and he was asked to return back after 1 hour. Then what happens? According to this equation, what happens is that 1 hour on the 1 year on the space journey. When the time of 1 year was elapsed for the man who set out for the space journey, the equivalent time elapsed for the girl who was waiting is 22.7 years. So what happens that the age of the girl increased by 22.7 years and the age of the man increased by 40 plus 1, 41 years, and the age of the girl becomes 16 plus 22.7, that is 38.7 years. Now they are having almost comparable age. So this is how the problem was solved by the principle of time dilation. Doesn't it seem fantastic? Yes. So next is addition of velocities as one of these applications of Lorentz transformation equation. Relativistic addition of velocities. Suppose we are having a system S prime moving with a uniform velocity v relative to the system S. The coordinates in S prime frame is x prime, y prime, z prime, and the coordinate in S frame is x, y, z. And suppose a particle is moving along x-axis and its velocity measured by an observer in the system S be u and S prime be u prime. Suppose a particle is moving with a velocity and the velocity observed for a person standing in S prime, S frame is u, and for the person standing in S prime frame is u prime. And now we have u is equal to dx by dt and u prime is equal to dx prime by dt prime. U is equal to dx by dt and u prime is equal to dx prime by dt prime. Using inverse Lorentz transformations, we have x is equal to instead of we already have the Lorentz transformation given here. X prime is equal to x minus vt, and here x is equal to x prime plus vt, inverse Lorentz transformation equation. Here minus doesn't change since we are having a square term here. Minus v into minus will be plus v itself, but here minus v into minus v becomes plus v in the inverse transformation case. So what we will be getting is x is equal to x prime plus vt prime divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square, and t is equal to t prime plus vx prime by c square divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. So differentiating it as usual, dx is equal to dx prime plus v dt prime divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square, and dt is equal to dt prime plus v dx prime by c square divided by root of 1 minus v square by c square. And differentiating these terms for x and t, you will get dx and dt. Now what you are doing is dx by dt will be dx prime plus v dt prime divided by dt prime divided by dt prime plus v by c square into dx prime. And what we will be getting is dx prime by dt prime plus v divided by 1 plus v by c square into dx prime by dt prime. Dx prime by dt prime, dt prime. What you are doing here is dividing this dx divided by dt, and you will have many dt prime terms. Now what you are doing this to avoid this dt prime terms and to make it in terms of velocity, you divide the numerator and denominator of this equation with dt prime. So what you will be getting dx prime by dt prime plus v into dt prime by dt prime. It is written here dx prime by dt prime plus v into dt prime by dt prime is 1. Similarly, dt prime by dt prime is 1, v by c square is into dx prime by dt prime. So dx prime by dt prime is u prime. So u is equal to u prime plus v divided by 1 plus u prime v by c square. So this is the important expression for relativistic addition of velocities. This is one of the important expression for the relativistic addition of velocities. And if you are putting u is equal to c or u prime is equal to c, that is we are observing the motion of this light. And if v is equal to c, that is the velocity of the s prime frame with respect to s frame is c. So substituting both to be c, what you will get? U is equal to c plus c divided by 1 plus c square by c square. It is 2c by 2. It will be c itself. Thus the addition of any velocity to the velocity of light, c, merely reproduces the velocity of light. And relativistic velocity of addition of velocity of light gives an result that the velocity of light is a maximum attainable velocity of light. The velocity of light doesn't change when we are looking the velocity of the light from different frames of reference. Okay. So the velocity of light is the maximum attainable velocity and it doesn't change if we are measuring the velocity from different frames. So this is the expression for addition of velocities, and we have proved that the law of addition of velocities applies only when the two velocities are in the same direction. Okay. Yeah, it's natural. And if v is very much less than c, if v is very much less than c, what we will be getting is the normal addition of velocity or classical equation. We can express the velocity u prime in terms of u and v. U and v which you can write it like this way. U prime is equal to u minus v divided by 1 minus uv by c square. Okay. In the reverse term, that is I have told you before. This is inverse Lorentz transformation equation. Similarly, the inverse equation for addition of velocities. Instead of u prime, you can write here u, and instead of u, you can write here u prime, and instead of v, it is minus v, and instead of v, here also minus v. So this is the inverse transformation equation for addition of velocities. Okay, so hope you have understood about time dilation and relativistic addition of velocities. So there is one more portion left, that is relativistic variation of mass with velocity, and we'll discuss some of these problems. With that, this portion will come to an end. So only thing that we'll have to keep in mind that while doing the derivation part of Lorentz transformation equation, you just try to by heart one or two terms. Okay, if the mathematical portion is tough for you. Okay, this is very important. You can study the Lorentz transformation equation. Four equations are there. X prime is equal to x minus vt. The denominator term ellam common 1 minus v square by c square. Root of 1 minus v square by c square. T prime is equal to t minus vx by c square. Length contraction is L is equal to L0 into root of 1 minus v square by c square. Time dilation is equal to T is equal to T0 divided by root of 1 minus c square by 1 minus v square by c square. And L is less than L0 and T is greater than T0. Okay, so these are the equations that you'll have to keep in mind. And there is one more equation also, and here this equation also. U is equal to u prime plus v divided by 1 plus u prime v by c square. And one more equation is the relativistic variation of mass with velocity, that we'll discuss in the next class. So if you are having any doubts, you can come to me. So thank you.